following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors. I'm your host, along with my co-host, Eric Dukes.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
What's up, baby?
How's your week going?
Good. Not too bad.
Not bad. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Sports world.
Actually, I might as well.
Yeah.
The only time you're ever going to see this, what you're going to say, take my hat off.
Thank you very much. This man deserves it. The sports world lost probably the most polarizing athlete in history of sports. Muhammad Ali passed away on June 3rd. Muhammad was born December 17th in 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky. Probably the greatest boxer of all time. There's other guys that you could put in the mix, but to me, the whole world knows who Muhammad Ali is or was.
Exactly.
We're going to talk a little bit about Muhammad, go over his career a little bit. A lot of people, I didn't know this, that in 1960, Muhammad Ali won a gold medal.
Correct.
Yes, as a light heavyweight in
Yep.
the 1960 Olympics. Muhammad also is the only three-time world heavyweight boxing champion.
Correct.
He won the title in 1964, 74, and 78. Nicknamed the greatest.
Yep.
They made a song about him.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, the Black Superman.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was just incredible. He was involved in several historic boxing matches, most notable with the fight of the century versus Joe Frazier, which one of the fights against Joe Frazier. That was on March 8th, 1971. Joe Frazier won by unanimous decision. The Super Fight 2 against Joe Frazier.
Yep.
Won by Ali by unanimous decision. And the Thriller in Manila. Won by Muhammad Ali in the 14th round. They didn't stop it. What happened was Joe Frazier's corner, Eddie Futch, stopped the fight. And Muhammad Ali did say afterwards that he quit before he could have because he doesn't think he could have went on anymore.
Right.
That night, they were in the Philippines. They fought that fight at 10 a.m. Philippines time so the world could watch it over here on normal time.
Yeah.
And they said the ring was about 120 degrees. They could barely breathe. I mean, the heat was just unbelievable. That, to me, I just actually watched the fight again 2 days ago. What a fight.
Yeah.
Back and forth. I did not know this as a kid, you know what I mean, when this all happened, but, going around and reading all these things on Muhammad Ali, there's a lot of things I really didn't know, he loved to do the rope-a-dope.
Yep.
But that night, the rope-a-dope actually helped Joe Frazier.
Yes.
Because Joe Frazier had something wrong with his elbow, and when he extended his hand, he had no power. So when Ali went to the ropes and Joe got close, he was able to hit him with short right hands.
Right.
His signature punch, which was his left hook, would kill you. The body shots. That night, Ali's rope-a-dope did not help him. It actually helped Joe Frazier. Ali also had a couple of fights against Sonny Liston.
Yep.
The first one, Ali won with a technical knockout in the 7th round. And then the second one, Ali knocked him out cold.
Oh, yeah.
Hence the shirt. This is the photo from it. The most iconic photo in all of sports, I truly believe. And he knocked him out, like I said, in the first round. He also had a big fight, the Rumble in the Jungle, against George Foreman. Ali won that with an 8th round knockout.
You got to remember, too, man. Foreman thought he was on top of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I can beat this guy.
Yeah.
I'm, bigger. I'm this. I'm stronger. Foreman actually went in, he's an underdog. I'm not worried about him. And look what happened to him.
Exactly.
Right on his back.
Exactly. And Foreman, at the time, was on a tear.
Oh, he was an animal.
He had won like 6, 7, 8 fights in a row, all by knockout.
Yep.
So like you said, he definitely thought in his head that he was totally going to walk through Ali.
Oh, he says it in interviews. He says, I was going to walk through him.
Right.
I was like, I'll get in there. I'll bang this guy up a little bit. I'll be champion again. No problem. I'm not worried about this guy.
Right.
He's gone. He's older.
Right.
How's it look on your back?
Exactly.
And that's what he did. He put him on his back.
Right. Muhammad Ali also, when he decided to convert over to the Nation of Islam, changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali.
Right.
That was pretty big news.
Yeah, but that's also where his life kind of went, like
Yeah.
sideways because
Yeah.
then things started to happen to him.
Right. The only announcer really that would call him Muhammad Ali was Howard Cosell, which is where I first saw Muhammad Ali on Why World of Sports, bantering back and forth with Howard Cosell. And I don't know whether it was a shoot, whether it was worked, but it sure did look like Muhammad wanted to kill him all the time.
Yeah.
And Howard obviously wouldn't fight, but he had no problem. He wouldn't back down with his words.
Verbally.
He
Correct.
had no problem.
Yep. None at all.
Another thing what happened with Muhammad is in 1967, he refused to go in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
And that cost him 3 years
Yep.
in his prime of his career.
Now the funny part, and I'll use funny, not per se,
Right,
for what happened
right.
to him. There's a skit back in the day from another one missing, George Carlin.
One of the best.
George
comedians.
Carlin did a skit on that.
Really?
So do me a favor, go on
I'm
YouTube
gonna.
and look up George Carlin, Muhammad Ali, put them together.
I have to do
Well,
that.
pretty much he says, he's talking to the crowd. He goes, well, there's Muhammad Ali who didn't want to go over and kill people. Instead, he's in the ring punching people. So they say, hey, we want you to go kill people. He goes, I don't want to kill people. I want to punch people. Well, guess what? Now we're not going to let you kill or punch people.
Right.
And that's how they set him up. But the skit is,
I have to. I'll look it up. As soon as I
especially
go home.
Carlin.
Yeah,
I mean, come
he was
on, man.
One of the greatest comedians
One
of
all time.
Is
And
he from Boston? No.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
okay.
No,
I wasn't sure.
I don't think he's from
Okay.
Boston. Did a lot of stuff in Boston.
Right.
But if you check that skit out, man,
Yeah.
it's hilarious because it's right when they said, okay, now you're out of boxing and we're gonna put you in jail.
Right. It was a tough thing for him to
It
swallow,
was.
but he's stuck by his guns, and whatever, however you feel about it, whatever, you know what I mean?
There's one thing about him. I hear a lot of people say, oh, he was a racist. He was talking about Ali.
Yeah.
What? You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right.
do you listen to what this gentleman
Yeah,
says?
Yeah.
And you notice I said gentleman.
Right.
Because in the ring he was an animal,
Yes.
but outside that ring he was a
Yeah.
constant professional.
Yes.
And he'll tell you straight out, I don't need to go over there and kill women and children and white
Right.
people and black people and yellow people. I don't need
Yeah.
to kill nobody. He goes, I use these to hurt people.
Right.
I don't need to use this I don't want to kill nobody. I want to punch people. And people laugh because he's like, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I like
But
punching
he was
people.
very funny.
Oh, he was hilarious. And he tried to bring, of course, a lot of his humor into the ring. but
Right.
a lot of guys did call his bluff on it
Yeah,
inside the ring
yeah.
because they used that to their advantage.
Right.
But he was one of those guys. He says, I don't want to kill white people. He definitely was one who would always tell you, I'm not racist.
Right.
And someone would bring something up that he said, and he goes, oh, you took that the wrong way. You definitely did. And he would explain it to you.
Yep.
And he was one of those very articulate guys,
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
He wasn't like,
Absolutely.
no.
He was a smart guy.
Very intelligent man. And he would tell you straight out. He goes, no, you misheard me. This is what I said, and this
Right.
is how I said it.
Right.
And he'd break it down, and then people would just be like, I don't know where to go from here because he
Right.
just
Yeah.
did me
Broke
out.
it down.
He just, he caught me. What am I going to do?
Wow.
But he's a very articulate guy, very articulate.
Yeah, loved Muhammad. He had a lot of multiple fights against different opponents. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? He fought, like I said, he fought Sonny Liston twice. He fought Joe Frazier 3 times. Another guy he fought 3 times was Ken Norton.
Oh,
And I'll tell you, and this is something I didn't know either. In the first of the 3 fights against Ken Norton broke Muhammad Ali's jaw in the first round.
Well,
And
actually,
that fight went 15.
actually, what they're saying is, they're saying he broke it in the last round.
Nope. First round.
Well, if you kind of watch the tape,
I'm telling you.
no, I'm saying
Right.
if they show you like the difference. If you kind of watch the tape going into the 15th when he had him over in that corner, and he kept, they said that he broke it in the last round, not the first round.
Nope. He broke it in the first round. I read it 5, 6 different ways. The first round, he broke his jaw.
And
Norton
still,
beat him in it by split decision.
it still went 14 rounds.
Imagine that. No, seriously, imagine that. Like, I seen Mickey Ward fight, right? And a lot of his losses when he had fights came because his hands were broke.
Yep.
And he wouldn't quit. He just couldn't throw. He just couldn't keep throwing.
Couldn't feel anything anymore.
Right. And Mickey, who knows where Mickey's career would have went if he would have stopped at a certain point and had his hands done.
Right.
Instead, when he retired, took 3 years off, had hand surgery, and came back, and look what happened.
Yep.
He became incredible.
Yep.
You know what I mean? By the time Mickey Ward's career was over, everybody knew him. But this isn't about Mickey Ward. Hopefully, You know, I talked to Mickey just recently, and he said he'd come on the show, so I just got to get a hold of him. But so they fought 3 times.
Yep.
And in the second fight, 6 months later, Ali beat him by split decision.
Yep.
And then Trilogy, which was in 1976, Ali won the last one by unanimous decision. Like I said, other multiple opponents were Leon Spinks, who Ali lost and beat.
Mm-hmm.
He lost the WBA and WBC title in the first fight. And in the second fight, for some reason, it was only the WBA title was on the line.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's very strange. He fought Jerry Quarry
Mm-hmm.
2 times, and Ali beat him both times by TKO. The first one in the 3rd round and the second one in the 7th round. He fought Floyd Patterson,
Yep.
which is what this shirt. No, that's Sonny Liston. I'm sorry.
Right.
Floyd Patterson also lost twice to Ali, both times being TKO'd in the 12th round in the first fight and in the 7th round in the second fight. Real quick before I keep going into these fights, you know, like you said, Ali was very articulate and would say things in the ring, right?
Yep.
I heard a reporter on, I want to say it was Felger, who I can't stand, all right, on 98.5. But he said that the wrestlers took what Muhammad Ali, how Muhammad Ali would be saying things, right? It was the opposite. Muhammad Ali got that from Gorgeous George.
Of course.
And, you know, obviously the wrestlers, you know, might have been influenced by Muhammad Ali. But for him to say that Ali influenced the wrestlers, it was the other way around.
Yes.
Gorgeous George influenced Muhammad Ali with his rhyming and his charisma and his promos. Basically, they're promos.
If you look at his old stuff, and when he got a little older, he'll tell you that his favorite wrestler was Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
And he loved the pomp and circumstance of it.
Yes.
He just loved it. And when you cut a promo, let's use the word like we do. We're cutting
Yeah.
a promo. And he'd be in the, in the gym. He'd start cutting a promo, because the cameras are all around.
Yeah.
Cut a promo.
Yeah.
Because that's what professional wrestlers did. They always
Right.
cut a promo. And if you notice, he did a few times get involved in professional wrestling.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Because I definitely want to talk
Yes.
about the Gorilla Monsoon thing.
Awesome.
That was incredible.
Awesome.
And also the Inoki thing.
Yes.
But, yeah, so, like I said, he fought Sonny Liston twice. First time, he knocked him out in the 7th round. In the second fight, he knocked him out in the 1st round. Like I said, the shirt I'm wearing is the picture. It's the most iconic picture in all of sports history, I believe.
Yep.
Ali stood over him just looking down, and he was saying something because his mouth's wide open.
Oh, yeah.
His hands like this with his left hand down. It's just, I just love this picture. And the trilogy against Joe Frazier is easily one of the greatest trilogies in boxing.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it wasn't named number 1 in this thing that I read. I was kind of shocked. It was ranked 3rd. And Mickey Ward and Gaddy wasn't even in.
Wow.
They were 5th.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was like Neil Griffith and Benny Parrett. But that goes way back.
Yeah.
But both of them guys were really good fighters.
No,
anyways,
but
you know.
that's-
Yeah, it's very strange. I'm going to really look into it afterwards. I didn't have time, right? Work and everything. You know, we don't need to get in that. I'm a pretty busy guy. But, yeah, so that match against Joe Frazier, the last one, just amazes me that they could actually fight in that kind of heat, you know, and just keep going. You know, I mean, it's hard enough. Like, just let's say you're working, you're construction work, and you're banging the hammer or you're doing roofs. You know, it's 90 degrees out, 85, and you're like, whoa.
Yep.
Can you imagine? It's like fighting in a sauna.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's incredible. Ali had like we were talking about earlier, the rope-a-dope. There's clips of Muhammad Ali where he's backed against the ropes, and the guy's just throwing punches, and they're not hitting him at all. He's moving to the left, to the right, down.
Yep.
It's just amazing. The guy had his reflexes, cat-like reflexes. You know? Yeah, so Muhammad Ali passed away June 3rd at the age of 74. Very, very, very sad day in sports that day. Remember, they brought him to the hospital, so we knew he was in the hospital for a couple of days. And at that point, you know, they say he died of respiratory failure.
Correct.
But I mean, he had Parkinson's disease for over 20 years. You know, one of the greatest things I ever saw also was in the Olympics when he was holding the torch.
Yes.
I really don't remember exactly what Olympics it was, but I mean, he was shaking, but it's still, to this day, like when I see that, I get chills.
A lot of people say that, they use the terminology punch drunk.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people say that they used. I'm not quoting because I
Right.
don't know, and I'm
Right.
not saying it because I don't know.
Right.
But they said that they used the Parkinson's
Yeah.
as an excuse. I was like, well, how ignorant.
Yeah.
If you actually Google this also.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox.
Right.
They-
Another man who has Parkinson's.
They did a thing together.
Right.
If you watch them together,
Yeah.
you can see Michael J. pretty much doing the same exact thing. So it's not Punch Drunk is pretty much like not like
Yeah,
you're
you
shaking.
slurred your
you
words.
just slurred. You kind of like you're intoxicated.
Right. Exactly. It's
Ex-
exactly. That's why you're slurring your words. Right.
He was not punch drunk,
No. No. Was not.
but if I wanted you to, I told you about that special that was on Fox the other night.
Yes, I definitely have to see that.
Unbelievable. And I forget whatever the last fight was, so on and so forth. I think it was the one he retired.
Okay, that was against Leon Spinks.
Spinks,
Was his last
thank
fight when
you.
he won the title.
Yes.
And then he retired.
Well,
He re-won the title.
they said that he shouldn't have bothered.
Right.
Because they showed a sign of him. They showed like when he was all crazy.
Yeah.
Then they showed him going against Spinks. And he wasn't as alert,
Right.
but he's also started doing the stare. And you could see the stare in his
Right.
eyes, and you're like, you could see that.
Right.
That's, well, he doesn't take a lot of blows to the head, which he didn't.
Right. But I will tell you something when you finish this.
You could see that they told him you shouldn't do this fight.
Right. Right.
And I'm
He
not
was
saying
getting up there in age.
And he was, too.
Wasn't he like 38 or
at
something
the time,
like that?
yes,
Yeah.
and back then, especially the beatings that they did to each other.
15-round fights. and
50
stuff.
rounds.
Yeah.
Can you imagine guy breaking your jaw in the first round
Right.
and going 14 more?
Yeah. It was crazy. That's crazy.
That's nuts. So it's
That's
the whole.
tough too.
Wow, that's
That's tough.
That's just total. But that also goes to show you the stamina they had.
Yes.
You know,
absolutely.
goes to show you that their in-ring stamina.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he was not punch drunk.
Right. No,
He
wasn't.
definitely had a disease.
Yeah.
And be very well missed.
Well, seeing that you brought that up, like punch drunk and stuff, I did read, and I think I've known this for a few years. Parkinson's disease, it can come from blows to the head and stuff
Correct.
repeatedly. A lot of people that might not know this, a casual boxing fan won't know this, but Muhammad Ali's sparring partners over the years all became heavyweight champs.
Correct.
Michael Dokes. I mean, there's just all of them. They all became phenomenal fighters themselves. So not only was he taking on the best boxers in the ring, he had the best sparring partners
Definitely.
in boxing.
Definitely.
Muhammad, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, Godspeed,
Salute.
salute. All right, so we're going to move on to UFC 199 as Derek puts the hat back on. And I got to tell you, he looks sexy with that Bruins logo. I got to
That's it.
say.
That's
There's
it.
just something about Bruins. I love it.
Yes,
But
it is. Yes,
the
it is.
UFC 199 card was this past weekend.
Wow, what a crazy
And
card,
What
man.
a crazy card. We're going to go over the main card, then I just want to touch up on a couple of preliminary fights.
Okay.
Actually, let me go to the preliminaries first. Seriously.
Well, the main fights weren't too long.
No, they weren't.
They're pretty good stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Do you ever see, Cole Miller took on Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy,
Yep.
which I think is the best nickname in all of MMA. Alex beat him by unanimous decision. I didn't think he was going to win. I like Cole Miller.
Yeah,
I have nothing against Alex.
It was a good beating on both parts, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Cole
it was
had his moments.
It really wasn't one way. I mean, that was back and forth.
No, yeah.
It was good.
But what about that Clay Guida against Brian Ortega,
oh
right?
My God.
Clay Guida's a great fighter. He won. All right, let's see. It's 5-minute rounds. So Clay Guida won 13 and a half minutes. Seriously. This kid, it looked like Brian Ortega was going to suffer his first loss until he caught him. Clay came in and he caught him with the right knee. That it ended it. Brian hit him a couple more times, but it was over. There was literally only 45, 50 seconds left in the fight. He was going down with his first loss.
Wow.
One other fight I just want to talk about real quick is Jessica Andrade, TKO Jessica Penne
Wow.
in the second round. And I'll tell you, I thought Jessica Penne was going to win this fight. I really, on paper, going in. But I'll tell you, Andrade's pretty tough.
Yep.
She is really tough. We're going to go to the main card now. And I'll tell you, the first fight of the night in the main card was Dustin Poirier, who Conor McGregor took out a couple, like 2 years ago in the first round. So since that fight, Dustin decided to move up to 155.
Yep.
And he's been unstoppable since. He won his first 4 fights at that weight class, and he beat Bobby Green.
Bobby Green, yes.
Bobby Green. I'll tell you, right? That kid talked for as long for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Bobby Green was talking, and then Dustin shut him up.
Yep.
And that was the end of that. Dustin Poirier, like I said, 5-0 now at lightweight. I don't know who he's fighting next, but I'll tell you what, whoever does, they better be ready because Dustin looks real good. The next fight, we had Dan Henderson.
Oh, man.
Now, Dan's like 45 years old, right? Taking on Hector Lombard, who's jacked.
Tough as nails, Henderson, though.
Oh, my God, isn't he?
He's been around the UFC for so long.
Yeah. And all the other fighting in Japan, you know,
the
Pride and all that.
Been all over.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Good for him, though.
Oh, yeah.
What a strike.
Yeah. Well,
Man.
Lombard dominated the first round. And that's, if I was scoring the fight at home, I would have had a 10-8. Seriously.
Yep.
The second started better for Hendo, as he scored with a nice couple good leg kicks and then connected with a nice right hand.
Oh.
With the right hand, and then he followed up with a high head kick.
Yep.
And a backward elbow.
That was.
He made the kick. Somehow his arm went like this, and as Lombard stood up, he just went.
Got the elbow.
Hit him right in the temple. Out cold. Now, before the ref could stop him, Hendo, like he did against Michael Bisping, came raining down with a beautiful elbow.
And he caught him perfect.
Actually, a forearm.
And he caught him perfect.
Perfect.
Yep.
And that was the end of that. The ref stopped the fight. Dan Henderson, 45 years old, on the verge of another title shot.
KO'd somebody.
Oh, it was unbelievable. And like I said, and he was like, Lombard knocked him down. That's why I had it 10-8.
I know.
Knocked him down. It looked like it was over. It really did. But Hendo hung in there. There was still like 1 minute and 30 seconds left.
I couldn't believe
in that
it.
round. And he hung on there. Great fight. Max Holloway took on Ricardo Lamas. And I thought this was going to be a really close, good fight. But Max Holloway walked away with that.
Yeah,
man.
but he
won every round.
He walked the whole fight.
Yeah. He won. He walked away. It was nothing.
Dominated the whole
Clean
fight.
cut 30-27 all the way through.
Yep.
Max is a tough kid. You know, got the thin frame. Ricardo Lamas is a little shorter, but a little thicker too.
Right.
But it was good for Max Holloway.
Yep.
Not good for Ricardo Lamas.
No, definitely not.
The semi-main event had Dominic Cruz taking on Uriah Faber.
I was totally waiting for that one, too.
And I thought it was going to be a good fight, Derek.
I thought it was going to be a knockdown, drag out, and it was not.
No, I thought it was going to be fight of the night. Going in, I really did. I thought it would be fight of the night, but it wasn't.
No.
I was wrong, and Uriah Faber took a beating.
Oh.
You know, it wasn't like bad where he was all, you know.
No, but he was outgunned.
Yeah, he won every round.
Yes.
Dominic won every round.
Yes.
Five rounds to nothing.
Yep.
Uriah is a tough kid, but he's had some setbacks in the last couple of years. They're talking about him maybe fighting T.J. Dillashaw down the line because how Dillashaw left his camp.
Yep.
And there's a little bad blood there,
Yep.
whatever. They better do it soon if they're going to do it because TJ's a lot younger. And right now, TJ's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in MMA.
Yep.
So then we get to the main event where you were shocked. But we talked about this off air.
Come on.
10 years in the making, Michael Bisping finally got a shot at the middleweight championship against Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold,
Yep.
who turned around and beat Chris Weidman. It was supposed to be Rockhold-Weidman, too.
Two, right.
Bisping took this fight on 10-day notice.
Yeah, something, he got sick or something.
Yeah, something like that. But
Yeah.
So he had to back out of the fight. And Bisping took care of it. He came in.
He got his number, man.
Dude, the first round.
Got his number.
First round. 3 minutes and 36 seconds into the fight. It was over. Luke Rockhold is now the ex-champion, and Michael Bisping is finally the UFC champion.
I can't believe that.
You know, I'm not a huge Bisping fan, but I also don't not like him.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he's been around long enough where he did deserve a title shot.
Sure.
He was coming off of 3 big wins.
Yep.
Took the fight on 10-day notice. Anybody that takes a fight like that has got a lot of guts in my eyes. Because really, I mean, even if you're training, you only have 10 days to prepare for the guy you're fighting. Usually your camp is 3 months, 4 months, you know.
You're watching tapes. You're doing this. You're doing that.
Exactly. But without that, you know what I mean? He had to get in the ring. But he did. He pounced down, punches until the ref dove in
I
and
can't
stopped him.
believe it.
Luke Rockhold, the look on his face of dejection.
Oh, he.
Because the trash talking at the weigh-ins and at the press conferences, you know, classic Bisping because he can talk.
Yep.
He really can. Luke's all right, but verbally doesn't
Yeah.
get his point across as well as Bisping. You know, but another couple of things that came out of this during the pay-per-view, they announced somebody's going to fight at UFC 200.
Oh God, I know.
The Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, is coming back to the UFC. Now, at the time, they didn't announce who he was fighting. They've announced it since
Yeah,
then.
they announced it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, maybe yesterday, the day before,
Well,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, Mark Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mark Hunt's only got a record, seriously, of like 13 and 10, 12 and 10. But honestly and truthfully, if Brock Lesnar does not get this guy on the ground,
Oh.
he has no chance. Mark Hunt, you can hit him with a bat, and he just keeps coming on. Truthfully, seriously.
Probably laugh at you.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost fights. Like I said, he's lost plenty of fights. But I don't think he's ever been, like, knocked out. I think they might have been TKO'd where this ref pulls him off.
Never seen him throw a punch.
Oh, dude, it's
It's like strapping a brick
yeah.
to your hand.
Yep.
He has got a nasty right.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mean a hook. I mean
No,
a straight.
right.
I've seen him
He
just.
can knock you out both
Oh,
ways,
yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
You know? This is not good for the WWE, I can tell you that.
Well, first of all, how the hell do you get that kind of permission?
You know why? Listen, this is what I think, and there's been rumors going around, and there's been talk about this, but I really do believe that Vince gave the okay because he wants to use Ronda Rousey
Right.
in a WrestleMania.
Kind of with, hey,
So,
Dana.
I did this for you.
know,
You
do
did
this
this
for
for
me.
me.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're saying all kinds of stuff now that Brock's not going to have to do certain testings and things like that, which makes Mark Hunt a little bad. But
Yep.
all he said was, I read it today. He said, he can do all he wants. I'm still going to knock him out.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, Brock, you're in big trouble. You really are. If you can get him to the ground, you might be able to
If
win.
he can ground and pound him,
Yeah.
he's going to get this win.
But now, remember Brock's last few fights? He does not like to get punched.
I like what Cain Vasquez did to him.
Oh, that was incredible.
Yes.
Kane beat the crap
Oh.
out of him. Did you see the Cowan fight?
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. Looked like Brock was going to lose. That referee could have stopped that fight 5 different times.
I know.
And he didn't.
And he didn't.
And luckily for Brock, he did because Brock ended up getting him in the second
I
round.
just can't.
Shane Cowan's tough,
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You think Brock has any type of chance in this
Oh,
fight?
yes,
against-
of course he
Yeah?
does.
You think so?
Brock is a grappler.
One of the best.
Look what he did to Mir.
Yeah, the second fight.
The first fight, Mir showed what a bitch he was.
Yeah.
Welcome to UFC.
Right.
He wanted to come in, he did all the pounding, and all of a sudden, Mir just come up out of nowhere,
Yeah.
grab the
He
foot.
was on the ground.
Yep.
Brock was an idiot. He left his leg there.
Yep.
He tried to turn around to let him get up and walk away, and he did it, and he left his ankle there, and he grabbed it.
And then
it
the
was over.
second one, he obliviated
Brock
Mir.
pounded
Yeah.
him like crazy. I do like Brock Lesnar. I know you do too. You like Brock. I just, like I said, I think it's a bad move because here you got a guy that in wrestling is known as the Beast Incarnate.
Right.
Is known as one of the baddest mofos
Yep.
in wrestling.
Yep.
Okay? When he gets knocked out by Mark Hunt, he's not the Beast Incarnate no more. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I know I just said, like, you don't like to get punched in the face. Like, I don't like to get punched in the face. But guess what? I'm not a fighter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're a fighter, you might as well like it. Remember I was telling you Isaiah wants to box?
Right.
And the first thing I said to the little guy was, all right, you want to do it, I'll take you down the
You
trade.
better
But
get
remember,
used.
you're going to get punched in the face
Yep.
too. He just looked at me.
Yep.
I said,
Mhm.
so if you want to do it, I told him, let's wait a little while longer, see how he feels. I'll take him down to Sean Eklund, Mickey's
Yep.
nephew's gym in Westford, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's up to him,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
But yeah, so that's interesting about UFC 200. That card's going to be incredible. It's headlined by John Jones defending
Yes.
his light. Well, Daniel Cormier defending his light
Right.
heavyweight championship
Right.
against John Jones, a guy who never lost it.
Yeah.
Stripped of the title because of the hit and run accident
Yep.
of a pregnant woman.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about that? I personally, I like John Jones in this fight.
Oh,
I really do.
Ditto. Cormier's not your typical S-talking kind
Right.
of fighter, and I don't think he's a very good fighter anyway.
They say he's a good wrestler. Yeah, like I'm just saying, he's a good wrestler.
He's a good wrestler.
Right.
He's not a fighter.
No, but John Jones can wrestle too.
See, that's the whole
Not
thing.
only can he wrestle, but he's technically
And how
great
long
on
and
his
lanky
feet.
he is.
Exactly.
And he uses that to his advantage every time.
Yep, unorthodox style.
Yep.
He throws punches from angles that you don't even know where they're. You know, he's not your typical, jab,
Yep.
right cross, right hook,
Yep.
uppercut, body shots. He'll throw punches from like anywhere.
You better believe it.
The spinning elbows.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? The side kicks. I
Cormier
love
gets-
his side kick.
Cormier gets caught with that, he's
Yeah.
out.
That's like, remember the old karate thing? When you were little, you'd see karate. They do the side kick.
Yep.
Beautiful kick.
Yep.
This is going to be a good fight.
Good fight.
It's going to be a real good fight. If I'm not mistaken, we got Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo on the card,
Wow,
too.
yeah.
So now with Brock and Hunt, that's 3 fights that I want to see.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And I wish I had the card written down in front of me, but we'll touch up on the rest of it next week.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's another 2 to 3 really good fights.
Oh, God, yeah, they'll put some more
You
in
know
there.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Well, I think they've already been announced. I just can't remember
Oh.
who they are. Because it's the next pay-per-view.
They probably have, but you know what? I was really excited about those 3.
Well, you're more than welcome to come over because
know?
I get them. I get them. And Maria's niece's husband Brian and his buddy Chad come over, and usually they pay for the pay-per-view. My guests will come and pay for the pay-per-view, and I'll put out food.
There you go. Yep.
Wings, the buffalo chicken dip, which if you never had that, man, it's incredible. I make a real good one. Unfortunately, at my house, I got to make it a certain way, and then when I want mine, I have to hit it with a lot more hot sauce.
Yep.
Maria and Nicole are not big fans
Right.
of that real spicy foods. I told you that story
Yep.
about the hot mustard with
Yep.
Nicole, right? Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, so UFC 199 was a good card. UFC 200's coming up. There will be, if I'm not mistaken, a fight night. The ones that are free.
Yes.
On Fox Sports 1
Yep.
coming up. That will be before. Because it's July 19th maybe. No, wait. 19th that's when SmackDown's going to go live, right? So,
Yes.
So it'll be,
So that would be.
I think it's the 16th.
Okay.
I think it's before that. I think it's the 16th on a Saturday night.
Okay.
That's going to be a real good card. Like I said, Derek, you're more than welcome to come over.
Thank you.
The food's going to be incredible.
Oh, well, you're cooking, so hell, of
Exactly.
course it is.
All right, so last night.
All right, let's go to NXT, baby. Let's
Last
do
night, NXT had another takeover special
it.
titled The End.
Unbelievable. Well, I think titled The End because they're bringing some guys up.
I think Finn's coming soon. Like real soon.
Well, considering that it was one of the most grueling matches of the night.
What a match.
Great match.
Seriously.
And now, with everything going on over there,
You're right.
you're going to. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of jump the gun
That's
for
all
1
right.
second.
Go ahead. We'll get to that and stuff. Just do it.
Frickin' John Cena. Oh, dude,
Dad. Let him have it.
he said Bullet Club.
Yeah. You know what people are saying? He said Bullet Club. No. He
No.
said, you're right.
He said
Bullet Club.
Bullet Club.
Yeah.
And I think in his own mind, he went, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Because it's supposed to be
You
just
in the
club.
Bullet Club.
Yeah.
And I think he thought to himself, because of, technically Vince tried to go over and say, hey, he wanted to buy the name.
Yeah.
And
But he couldn't.
IWGP wouldn't give it up.
Right.
So
New Japan.
New Japan, right.
Yeah, right.
They wouldn't give it up.
Right.
So that's why they're the club.
Right. But you know what they're going to be eventually, right?
Hey,
They're going to be the Balor
he
Club.
told us. He told us to do this.
Yeah.
He told us to do this.
That's what's coming.
Who's this he?
Exactly.
Who's this he?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you're going to
gonna be
hear that
awesome.
music with full gear on and Balor Club
Yeah.
shirt on. And
Isn't
it's,
going to be awesome?
look at.
Yeah, he's got goosebumps.
All right.
Like, you really
all right,
do.
All right, brother? Because I'm telling you right now, man, that is going to be epic.
Oh.
Those 4 guys.
Yep.
Number one, never mind, just AJ's there.
Right.
Okay? One of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time.
Yeah. He got at the top. He's
of
at
this
the top
era.
for sure. Yeah, of this era.
Of this era.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Gallows and Anderson are an unbelievable tag team, which you'd never think these 2 guys would be such a great tag team.
Right.
And never mind how good Finn Balor already is.
Yeah. He's been ready for a long time to be up in the
Well,
WWE.
they stole him
Yeah.
from Japan.
Yeah.
And then, of course, AJ technically took his place over there
Yeah.
as the
Yeah,
as the
as
leader.
of the
Yep.
Bullet Club. Yeah.
And it just keeps happening and happening and happening. Oh, he told us to come after you. He told us to do this. He
Yeah.
told us to do this.
Who's he?
And you're going to hear Cole go, who's he they're talking about? And that's how they're going to bring him up.
Music's gonna hit. And he's gonna come
Dude,
out.
and I'm telling you, And as much
His
as they're,
entrance is great.
as much
Sorry.
as they're hated,
Yeah. They're loved.
when Finn comes over, you think that they popped when Enzo and Cass come out?
Right. Oh, no, this place got to go
Oh,
crazy.
it's going to go off
The roof.
the roof, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy when
I
he comes
agree.
over. But you saw the loss,
Yeah.
and it's only in the cards that they're coming up.
Right.
So if you want to keep going, I
All right.
actually heard some insight about a match that I'm going to tell you about.
Well, the show opened up with Andrade Cien Almas, right? Who
Yeah.
was wrestling as Manny Andrade. That's what his
Yes.
first name is,
Yep.
right? He defeated Ty Dillinger.
Dillinger.
Now, I want to tell you real quick, though, that Andrade Almas, when I saw him in Lowell that night, unbelievable. Like, for once, I went to a show and I knew who he was.
Right.
But I'd only seen him, like, wrestle maybe once or twice on
Mm-hmm.
TV. He pretty much, like, just by himself, was incredible. Like,
Yes.
I could say stole the show, but there were so many matches
Oh,
that
my
night.
God, yeah,
But honestly,
yeah.
truthfully, when that match was over, I wanted to see more of him. I
Yep.
wish that match had kept going. He's really
What
good.
did they do, about 12 minutes?
Yeah, about this one, yeah, 12.
Yeah, it was
minutes,
about 12. It was good. It's
Yeah,
good,
oh,
though.
yeah, oh, yeah. Almas used used to be known, like I said, as Manny Andrade. Pretty good opening match.
Yep.
Dillinger's in-ring work is, in my opinion, pretty underrated.
Big time.
I think he's pretty good. I really do.
Well, first of all, you're in NXT.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But so is Elias Sampson.
Oh, my
so,
God.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
yes.
But this kid is flying under the radar, if you ask me. A lot of fans aren't like, they're like,
Yeah.
they don't care about him.
Yep.
Don't sleep on this kid. Seriously.
Yeah.
Don't sleep
Yep.
on him because you never know. This kid could come up to the WWE and be something huge someday.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know.
Don't know.
You know? Andre, like I said, is an extraordinary talent.
Definitely.
He's quick. He's got the high-flying moves, technical stuff. Good-sized guy, too.
Yep.
He's not this skinny little guy. He's like 6'2", 230, 240. He's really good. He got the pinfall victory.
Yep.
The next matchup was for the NXT Tag Team Championship as American Alpha defended their title against former champions, The Revival.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, even though Joe and Balor was good, this was match of the night.
It was so back and forth, You really thought because of it being their pay-per-view,
Right,
their
right.
Their 2-hour, 3-hour
Yeah.
show, so on and so forth. It was their thing. You really thought that, of course, the champs were going to go over.
Right.
What happened?
Champs didn't go over. They pretty much, and you're going to love this, Derek, because we both are big fans of tag team wrestling.
Yes.
But it brought me back to like the Midnight Express and Rock and Roll.
Yes.
Okay, Express.
Yep.
The way they cut the ring off. They kept Gable on their side of the ring for a good 8 to 9 minutes, and he couldn't make the tag.
Do you know who their favorite tag team of all time was when they were
The
going?
Midnight Express.
No.
Rock and Roll Express.
The Andersons.
Ole and I?
Ole and Arn.
Wow.
The
And Ole and
original.
Gene were good too, though.
The original, well, with Gene, of course, but
Yeah.
when Gene got a little too
yeah,
out
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
and-
Gene was getting a little old, and then he passed away.
And then Arn came in.
They still were wrestling.
Then Minnesota Wrecking Crew
Incredible tag
that's where they got their tag team skills from.
team. Wow.
That they said, they'll tell you in a shoot that they
Really?
watch nothing but the Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Right.
They watched the Horsemen. They watched them against the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah,
They watched
yeah.
them against the Midnight Express. They
Right.
watched them against Dusty and Sting, and that was their main goal. And look how they worked the ring.
Unbelievable.
They worked the ring like an Anderson.
That's why I'm saying, like, that tag team match was classic.
Oh, great
match of the night.
Great match.
Cutting the ring up, and finally Gable makes the hot tag. Jordan comes in, starts clearing house.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you know it, they stop him too.
Yep. So what happened there?
Well, oh yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Dash and Dawson, they cut the ring in half, kept Gable there. He finally, like I said, made the hot tag. The Revival, though, turned it around.
Yep.
Now, Gable was still hurt.
Yep.
They're working on Jordan. They hit the Shatter Machine on Jason.
Yep.
And regained the titles that they lost 2 months earlier at what you were just talking about.
Yes.
On NXT TakeOver
Yep.
Dallas.
So, to let you know, FYI.
Because we're going to talk. We're not done talking about
No, we're not talking about
match.
that one yet, but they weren't being put over till that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they didn't know until that night.
They didn't know until curtain because
They're coming up. They're coming up. Now, American Alpha's coming up.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
now they're splitting the brand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
They better not split the team.
don't listen to any of the BS about them splitting teams.
Right. That'd be stupid.
well, it's
They
ridiculous.
did it before.
They have
It
done it
didn't
before,
work.
and it
Bombed.
totally bombed.
Yeah.
So they are going to have a tag team division.
Right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because you know how we are with tag teams.
I love tag
I'm a
teams.
tag
I'd
team.
rather watch tag team match, honestly, than singles.
Amen.
I really
it's
would.
just so
That's the
much
truth.
more about it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Better storytelling.
they called him up.
That's awesome.
I can't wait. But also, rumor, not heard, but
Right.
rumor that someone might come and see them.
Really?
You know where I'm going?
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah. You suck.
Supposedly,
Give it to him,
they're
Derek.
bringing up Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle coming back.
Well, he's a free agent.
Didn't we just talk about this off the
Yeah.
air last week?
Yeah.
That would be it'd be the absolute perfect thing to do for these kids to bring
He's-
them up with their name, American Alpha.
He's the perfect guy to do that
He
with.
absolutely is.
And he has
to
been
learn from.
such in the talks to come back. Not full time, of course. Not,
Please come back.
oh my God, are you kidding me? Bring him back. Hall of Fame next year.
Yeah.
Excuse me, this year.
Right,
Hall of
right.
Fame.
Yeah,
Be
this-
done with it.
Right. And you know what's cool is with Kurt, he had some comedy skills too. His stuff that he did with Austin. Remember when Austin went in Vince's office and he gave Vince a big cowboy
Yep.
hat and he put on a big cowboy hat and he gives Kurt one of those little toy ones.
Yeah.
It was like this big
Yep.
on his head with the
Yep.
the elastic
Yep.
strap. The look on Angle's face and all that without even saying anything was priceless. You really should go to the WWE Network.
Which is $9.99.
And you should really watch. Pull up Kurt Angle, Stone Cold. What was that? 90? Was that
Well, actually,
99, 2000?
they have.
When was that?
If you go into, there's a certain
Collections.
thing.
They have
Collections.
now, right? Do they have something on Angle already?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh God, yeah.
So yeah, you got to look up the comedy stuff that
Better
they
believe
did. Rock
it.
wasn't the only guy that could make you laugh
No,
back then.
no.
There was a lot of comedy in
Mhm.
there, and Derek knows I am a huge fan of comedy
Yep,
and wrestling. I
definitely.
really am. I'm a big. We both are big believers in on a show. You should have a little bit of everything.
Got to have
That's
comic
why-
relief.
Yeah, and I'm not putting on any other company or anything like that. I'm just saying that when I went to the Beyond show, I saw all of that in
Yep.
one show.
Yep.
All of it.
Definitely.
And you had to. It was like 4 hours long. But when the match was over,
All right, yeah. So let's go back to the tag team match.
two behemoths entered the ring.
Two monsters.
Monsters. And you know who they reminded me of right away? Seriously? The Hit Squad.
Oh.
I thought of Monster Mac and Dan Maff.
Oh, see, I was going way beyond that. I was going back to Doom.
Yeah, you could say that, but they fit. Think about it, they did look it. They
Yeah.
looked like the way they had their clothes and all
Mhm.
that. Right, like I said, immediately they remind me of Danny Maff and Steve Mack,
Just
Monster
totally
Mac,
took 'em
the
apart.
Hit Squad. It was, they destroyed
Took them apart.
Then the
Mhm.
ultimate surprise. The camera
Mhm.
goes up to again goosebumps.
Mhm.
Camera goes up to the top of the ramp, and who comes walking out? The precious Paul Ellering, former manager of the Road Warriors in one of my favorite stables of all time,
Better believe it.
the Legion of Doom,
Doom.
which consisted of the Road Warriors.
Oh, back then, the
Yeah.
Road Warriors, Jake
King
the
Kong
Snake
Bundy
Roberts,
and Jake.
King Kong Bundy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was somebody else, but I can't remember. But I do know those four. It was in Georgia.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what a stable that was. The
Unbelievable.
Legion of Doom.
Unbelievable.
And then the Road Warriors ended up using that moniker Legion of Doom in the
Yep.
WWE.
Right.
These guys, I don't know their real names
I
yet.
don't know them.
All they're being called is the Authors of Pain. And
I-
I'll tell you, they're huge.
I don't know them.
Huge. And like I said, Dan Maff and Monster Mac are big guys too. And they really did about as soon as they came out, I was like, I did a double check to make sure it wasn't them.
There was a lot of talk, internet-wise, last night that the crowd were being very ignorant,
Really?
and I didn't quite understand what they meant. So
Right.
kind of late last night, I went back to watch
Yeah.
it again so I could see when Precious Paul come out.
Oh, I know where you're going.
So I saw Paul come out and didn't hear or see anything. But what the internet is saying is they were screaming, "Who are you?"
Right.
But they weren't screaming at Paul,
Right. They were screaming at the
at
other
these
guys.
two guys.
But some people were writing it like they were.
Right,
saving
they were
it
like,
up
"Oh,
all.
that goes to show you, Kevin Owens for some reason. Oh, Kevin Owens, he loves to tweet,
Yeah.
and Kevin Owens
Loves to
tweeted,
talk.
"You people are ignorant." He goes, "I'm so glad I work for the main stage. I work for WWE right now because you people are so ignorant. I'm so glad I don't work over there anymore."
Right.
Because they took it the wrong way. They weren't saying that to Precious Paul.
Right. No.
No one knows who these two guys
Right.
are. So they were like, who are you, and who are you, or whatever they were chanting, but they weren't doing that to Paul.
No. And you're right, because I really do believe that the NXT audience down there are smart fans. Not in a bad way. Not,
Yes,
not
right.
smart marks where the wrestlers go, these guys are ridiculous.
Yep.
Picking apart every match.
Yep.
That's something that, real quick, that's something that I hate. You go on Facebook or whatever, or a chat room, and you hear the kid go, well, you know, he did
Yep.
a double moonsault.
Yeah.
He should have did a single. It's like, dude, you're in your mother's basement eating a bag of Cheetos, right?
Right.
No girlfriend. You'll never have a girlfriend.
Right.
And you're picking apart these matches that you could never do, not
No.
even in a dream.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Nope.
I hate people
Yep.
like that. And I always say, why can't you just watch a wrestling match and enjoy it? Good, bad, or indifferent.
Yep.
Just enjoy the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really irritates me.
Yeah, me too. Also.
You know,
Yeah.
I like to call them keyboard cowboys. People call them internet tough guys.
Yep.
But it's just sad. It's sad. The tag team match
Yep.
itself, though,
Great.
psychology was incredible. in that
Unbelievable match. Unbelievable.
You know,
Great on both
I,
teams.
I really do believe, as of right now, for so far in 2016, could be match of the year.
Yep.
So far, as
Yep.
of right now, even though Nakamura and Sami Zayn was good, there's a whole bunch of other matches
Yep.
that were good.
Yep.
But I definitely believe that this is one of them that should be at the top, even as the year goes
Oh,
on.
great.
What a great match.
Definitely.
Next up, speaking of him, Shinsuke Nakamura
There you go.
defeated Austin Aries.
Not happy about that.
No, another good match. Real good
Not
match.
happy about the outcome, though.
Yeah, well, Aries entered the ring with his ribs taped. Why?
I don't know.
I didn't catch that.
I don't.
You know what I mean? I didn't have the volume up. I was kind of making a snack when the match started, but when I came out, he was all taped up.
And maybe because he was being taped, maybe he taped himself up to take the beating that Shinsuke gives out.
Maybe the king of strong style.
I mean, he's stiff, man.
right?
God, he's stiff.
Nakamura is so over with the fans, it's unbelievable. And I know for a fact that they didn't expect him to be this over as quick as he did, with the fans, honestly.
Yes.
You know, he really didn't wrestle hardly any at all in America.
Yes.
You know, he did some Ring of Honor stuff.
Mhm.
I think he might have even done some Dragon
Yep,
Gate
yep.
stuff or whatever. But I know he hadn't been over. But I mean, a lot of fans will know him because they're fans of wrestling and all
Right.
that. I'm just saying I think, this is my opinion, that they didn't expect him to be this over
Oh, no.
already. And he was over the minute he came in, too.
Mhm.
So it's not like he's been here for 5 months and now he's been over since day one. Aries worked over Nakamura's knee,
Yep.
his leg, pretty much for the whole match. He went for that last chancery submission several times, but all right. So he went for that a few times. Nakamura stopped it and all this. Aries gets Nakamura out of the ring and goes for the suicide dive and missed and hit the guardrail.
I
And I'll
know.
tell you what, he hit that thing hard,
did.
Derek. I mean, really.
I know.
There's no way he didn't get someone hurt doing that.
God, yeah.
You know? So Nakamura used the ropes with his leg to break it, the last chancery. And the referee broke it up. He went for the 450.
Yep.
Aries, and Nakamura rolled out of the way. That's when Nakamura, he threw Nakamura out of the
Yep.
ring and went for the suicide dive. Nakamura capitalized, coming off the second rope with the Kid Shasha.
Yep.
And for the 1, 2, 3. During the match, though, I really do believe this. Aries looked like the superior
Oh,
wrestler.
God, are you kidding me? Forget about
He
it.
really did. His psychology, his work, everything about him. If he was 6'4", he'd be the world champion. Vince McMahon would make him the world champion
He'd
right
be the
away.
next. He'd be the next Brock Lesnar.
He would be.
Yep.
There's no doubt in my
Better
mind.
believe it.
Vince would have him as his world
Better
champion.
believe it.
Because, as you said earlier, AJ, one of the top wrestlers, Austin Aries is easily in the top 10 professional wrestlers right now.
Also, the
working.
most underrated guy.
Absolutely, because of his size. And you
Yep.
shouldn't sleep on that. Just because he's small. Look how good Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Come out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Well, in their eyes.
Right.
Didn't come out of nowhere in our eyes because
No,
we followed
we've
the
been
Indies.
following him for a long time.
Exactly. Next up, we had, I'm in love with her. I say it every time. I can't help it. But the NXT Women's Championship.
Okay. Right here, man.
Yep.
Finally,
Yep.
Nia being the monster.
Yes.
And again, I'm going to use this terminology.
Yep.
Please don't take offense to that, ladies.
Right.
I meant because of her size as a woman in the ring, of the way she does things. Not saying she's overweight. I'm saying the persona of what she's playing.
Yeah.
And man, did she play that
Oh,
persona
yeah.
last night.
Oh, yeah.
She used her power and used her wrestling ability
Yep.
to manhandle her.
Oh, for a while.
Oh my God.
What about the power bomb into the turnbuckle?
Ooh, that was
That looked like it hurt. Seriously.
That was scary, man.
You know, Asuka showed her resilience.
Yep.
You know, coming back, dodging the finisher, the
Yep.
leg drop,
Mhm.
which Derek's not a huge fan of. I'm not either. I mean, there's better moves for
Well,
her
this
to
isn't
use.
1984.
But right, but I do think like when she rolls her over on the stomach and she does it to the back of her head is a lot better than Hogan's leg drop.
I agree.
You know what I mean? But Asuka ended up hitting her with the running knee. That always looks like it hurts. She does that move pretty good.
And she planted it perfect.
Yeah, and she got the 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Next up, the NXT Heavyweight Championship match. For the first time on NXT, a steel cage
match.
Samoa Joe defending the title against Finn
Finn
Balor.
Balor. Crazy back and
Unbelievable.
forth match.
Unbelievable. Hard hitting,
Unbelievable.
quick.
Mm-hmm.
Joe went for the muscle buster a few times, couldn't get it.
Wow, that last one, though.
Oh,
You could see, which was nice. You could see the setup.
yep.
You could see Finn trying to get over the top, so on
I
and so
thought he
forth.
was getting out.
I thought he was going.
I did.
I'm thinking, wow, are they really gonna keep him over there?
Yep.
But you knew this was his technically final match over there.
Right.
So of course, Joe grabs the leg, brings him back over, bangs his head off. As soon as his head comes
Love
down,
Joe.
Joe was standing on the second rope, started to hook it up, and you could just see he presses forward, and you could hear the crowd.
They do.
Like you could hear a gasp out of the crowd going, for that muscle buster. And second rope, that ring shook.
Yeah.
Whole ring, but what a great setup.
Yeah.
Great
What a
setup.
great match.
Yep, great match.
And Balor was all dressed up in his, what is that? So, like, what do they call that? Like, there's got to be a name for, you know what I mean, what he wears.
Well,
and stuff.
it's paint, but
Yeah.
it's just you figure he
It's a
must.
giant mouth, right?
Yeah, exactly what it is. With with the crazy hair and everything.
Yeah.
He must call it something.
Right.
Why
That's
he
what I'm
comes
saying.
out
I don't
to
know
it.
what it is.
And I've never heard them say anything about
Right.
it. But there's only one reason he would lose.
Right. Oh, definitely. And he's got to come up. It's time.
Of course it's time.
It's been time.
Yeah, but you know what? I think they were waiting to bring AJ and them over anyway.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, what's it been? 2 years AJ's been out of NXT?
No, when AJ was never in NXT.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I meant to say TNA.
Yes, about 2 years.
About 2 years?
Yes, yeah, 2 years. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And they wanted AJ then.
Right.
But never pulled the trigger.
Nope. And he went to
Well,
Japan.
geez, there's Balor, there's Anderson, there's Gallows.
Yep.
So what? Let's bring him in. Let's do this. And guess what? Now we finally are going to get the Balor Club.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Me too.
I really can't wait. The match was phenomenal.
Great match,
It
back
really
and forth,
was.
back and forth.
If the tag team match wasn't so good, it could have easily been
Yep.
match of the night.
Mhm.
In some people's opinion, it probably was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In
Yep.
some people's. Personally, my opinion, your opinion
Mhm.
is the same. We think the tag team match was match of the night.
Definitely.
But some people might think this. You wouldn't be wrong either way. It's your whatever your cup of tea is.
I think
You know, I think it was a great match.
it was definitely a great match, but on your and I opinion,
Right.
which I know you're going to stand behind me on it,
Yeah.
that tag team match was match of the night.
Oh, I definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Unbelievable.
This was a great match, too. Like Derek said, Joe hit the muscle buster from the second row.
Oh, my God. It was
The ring
crazy.
shook like
That was
crazy.
nuts.
And he got the 1, 2, 3.
But it was good, though, that they both got their finishes in.
Yes. And they both looked strong. Even in the loss,
Mhm.
Finn looked strong.
Well, because, of course, Joe hits him, muscle buster the first one, 1-2 kick out.
yeah.
Crowd goes crazy. Joe, boom, boom, boom. Joe's down. Finn goes up,
Yep. Double stomp.
does that crazy double stomp gimmick,
Yeah.
comes over, 1-2 kick out.
Yeah.
Finn's like,
Right?
kind of like the same thing Joe did when
The
he hit him with the muscle.
psychology.
Yes. And then back and forth, and Finn, tries to go over, sets him up for the second one from the second rope.
I know.
And you saw the strain in his
Oh, yeah.
body and his face just to get that turn to jump outward. So he would, and that goes to show you what a professional Joe is.
Right.
Didn't want to mess up and hurt Finn.
Right.
He wanted to make sure it was set up, and it was set up perfectly.
Oh, it was totally perfect.
Unbelievable.
I can't wait to show Isaiah when he
I
comes
know.
over
What a-
straight.
what a
Because
great-
as you know, I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan.
Yep.
You know, I met him in 2002. No need to get into all that. I talk about it too much about that stuff. You know?
Right.
But he's always been one of my favorites since the first time I saw him wrestle. You know,
Yep.
he's got it all.
I think I saw him in Ring of Honor first.
That's exactly
Right?
where I
Yeah,
saw him. I
yeah.
saw him in Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
Obviously, when I came, that's when I
Yeah.
met Joe, and I
Yep.
met a lot of other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's always been one of those type of guys, though, that when come in to eat, always thank you so much,
Yep.
shake your hand.
Yep.
Some guys just go thanks and walk away.
Mhm.
Joe would shake your hand. AJ Styles would shake your hand.
Yep.
Christopher Daniels would shake your hand. Colt Cabana, and the list goes on. The one guy that wouldn't shake your hand was CM Punk.
Right.
But whatever.
But that's normal for a douchebag.
Right. And all the other guys that I met, you know what I mean? D.
Yep.
Homicide.
I love
There's
D.
just so many great guys.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's why at that time, Ring of Honor was the place you wanted to work. And it still is, I guess.
Of course,
It still
yes.
is because they got some great guys we
They
know
definitely
there,
do.
But yeah, overall, it was a fantastic show.
Great show.
I haven't been disappointed in any takeovers yet.
No,
And they've had what, 6?
I haven't.
5?
Let me tell you, man. I
Yeah.
haven't been disappointed in any NXT event I've heard or
Neither.
seen,
Right.
because
You
damn,
gotta
these
come with me
kids
next
just put on, man.
Right.
They're putting it on for a reason.
Yep.
And you wonder why that Dallas Takeover sold out in 30
30 minutes. Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's crazy. What about the other one, Derek, when they were in Brooklyn?
Oh, my God.
WWE had a pay-per-view on Sunday. So what they did was they ran NXT
Yep.
Friday, a house show on Saturday, and the pay-per-view on Sunday at the Barclays Arena.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
3 nights in a row, sold out every night.
Every
In
night.
Probably an hour, whatever.
How the hell do you sell out NXT at the Barclay?
Right.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you how over NXT is
Already.
because you know what? You're going to see a guy who is, let's not use the terminology unknown,
Right.
but whether you know him from here or you know him from there, but now he's over NXT. Next thing you know, Monday night, you're going to hear his music hit.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I still talk about Enzo and
Can't
Cass,
wait. Yeah.
with the Dudleys.
Yep.
That was unbelievable.
Incredible.
That was unbelievable.
Yep. I love how they put them. They at least have no problem doing. You know
Are
what I
you
mean? Like
kidding me?
It's just. I'm just saying it's awesome. I know you
But-
you know them. They're professional.
They're constant professionals,
Yep.
but the thing is that they know that their day, our day,
Yep.
ECW, they were over in every federation.
Right. Everywhere, and they're still over huge now.
Exactly. So there is not a tag team title they didn't hold.
Right. No, they're the only ones that held them all.
That's correct.
Wow.
But remember, 23 times
That's crazy.
world tag team champions.
The only one they didn't win, I'm sorry, is the AWA because they were already out of business.
They were already gone.
But trust me, if they were around, they would have won that.
But yes,
You know.
exactly.
But Derek, I could keep talking like
I know,
this
brother.
for an hour.
Love it.
It went by so fast. Guys, listen.
I love it, bro.
Continue to support independent wrestling.
Yes.
Love you too, brother.
Love you, brother. Thank you for having a great
no
show.
No problem. I'll tell you, support your independent wrestling. I'm going to get back to Sheldon Goldberg of NECW.
Let's do it.
Got to get him on the show. That's it for us tonight. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.